Okay. All right. We are live. So, all right. Give everybody just a second to jump on here. So if you can hear us and see us okay, we're going to teach you some secrets to a successful kids program with Professor Joao. You good, Joao? You can hear me and everything?
Yes, I can hear you really well.
Okay, good. Give everybody just 1 second to jump on.
Are you,
And
are you recording?
yes, it'll record.
Great.
Yep. So welcome everybody. Like I said, we're on StreamYard. Yo, what's up? If you can hear us and see us, go ahead, put a yes in the comments. Let us know that you can hear us and see us, and we will get cracking on some secrets to successful kids programs. So first, I'll introduce Joao. He's down in Dripping Springs, right?
Yes, Dripping Springs, Texas.
Dripping Springs, Texas, and that's right outside of Austin.
Outside of Austin area, 20 minutes away from downtown.
Perfect. So, do you want to give a quick background of your jiu-jitsu kind of history, how you became teaching kids, and how your journey started?
Yes. First started learning jiu-jitsu in Brazil with Carson Gracie. And then he moved to the United States. And I moved here. I had the opportunity to have more classes with him. He was a great coach for children. And later, I had another experience. De La Riva, he was my coach for a long while after Carson died, and mentor as well. And after that, I had another different work in Austin as a web designer. And I really want to teach jiu-jitsu, but I realized that, first of all, getting the black belt doesn't mean that you have the knowledge to start a program in teaching. You have to learn how you're going to do that. And I found out the biggest challenge was in the kids program. I visited several different schools. And immediately after 10 years, I started teaching children. I noticed that other martial arts were kind of, not to lose their space in the business, the market, the industry, they start teaching jiu-jitsu as well. And there was a big mess. So I decided to make a curriculum that could really make it clear what is the language, what you should teach by belt. What's the beginning of the journey? And after the child has this knowledge, what are you going to teach in second step and next belt. So I made a curriculum, I think it was 2008, with 8 children helping me. And the same children are in the program while I'm recording. I just changed their belts. They were all with me for a long time. They knew enough jiu-jitsu. So that was very helpful. And this was actually a guide for martial arts from all over the world. I mean, I had, after that, invitations to go around and teach, and I still do, workshops just for children, in how to teach children class in a successful way. And there are other answers I can respond about that, the relationship with the parents too, if you're interested.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's just slow down a little bit and we'll talk, what are some kind of principles when it comes to kind of teaching kids? Like what are some of the things that are like, you got to do these kind of things, whether it's keeping their attention, keeping them interested in it, progressing, like what are some of the real kind of key things that you see that's important when it comes to just a kids program in general?
I think that question is a very important question, and nobody actually thinks about that. That's the map to start. And I would say the whole how this journey starts is at the interview with the parents. Let me explain better. I noticed culturally that most martial arts around here cater to the parents, meaning, okay, I'm going to put Johnny in a jiu-jitsu or karate, whatever. And because Johnny was slapped in the face on the, doing the break at school, he was being bullied, I'm going to put him in that school, that group that has a bunch of schools, or that school that, whatever, feel comfortable. And then I get there, the coach said, oh, Johnny's 5 years old, 6 years old. He's not going to roll with anyone. He's going to learn technique. He's going to play around. That to me is catering to the parents.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you really want to help
you're not giving the kids the program and the chance to succeed or fail. You're just giving them that, hey, this is what you need. Like basically like giving them the medal for participating rather than winning.
Well, that's another big story as well, coddling. My school is proud to, in interviews, explain that I'm not part of this big movement of coddling that actually insulate children from the reality. Meaning, like link with the last question that you made would be something like explain to parents that this is what we're going to do. I have 4 short-term and long-term goals. This is how the program works. That works for your family. And explain the goals if you're interested. But then after that, they know that I is rather address reality with children. And you're going to deal with frustration, children's crying, and that's all part of the learning journey. That's okay. I'm not going to isolate. No, I want them always happy. I'm going to give a candy all the time. I need to keep the kid pumped so I look good in front of the parents. They keep paying. I think it's a more meaningful when established from the beginning what's the goal is to the parents, because that can become you become part of their village because it's impossible. You really need help. And it's obvious in every interview, it's really easy to sell children program once you sit with the parents, ask their needs, and they're going to see how clear they need help. They need help in any, there's always an angle that you can explore. Like you said in the beginning, could be attention, could be someone asked before the interview about autism, there are ways to do to address that specific with jiu-jitsu. Actually, I went through this experience. I'm still doing that. I can give details. And any other sort. Sometimes communication. Sometimes the kids come to with the parents, and you see that the parents don't connect with the kids, and they keep asking the kids, "Shut up! Don't talk! Sit down! Sit straight!" And they keep doing whatever they want. What the parents are really doing at that moment is just teaching the children to not to listen to them, rather than address. Okay, this is it. Sit down there and address even the consequences as a warning. So then the child that's looking for a structure, obviously, will listen to you. And I have now a podcast that I kind of support the program for children, explaining how I deal with everyday classes, parents' reactions, kids' reactions. Been like 20 years doing that. There's a lot of content there.
Good. So when you talk about kind of discipline, and are there any strategies that you want to implement when kids being bad in class? Like, is it yell at the kid? Is it, 100 push-ups? Like what are some good kind of key discipline ideas that you found to be able to get kids to do the right things rather than focusing on the bad things, I guess?
Another great question.
I'm really good at good questions.
Yes, I can tell. Look like you prepared for this more than I was. So I would say for that, it's really simple. Every jiu-jitsu studio, I would say many martial arts, it has children. You're going to see a big mess. All the children are there for one main reason: focusing, learn how to be present. So the class is usually chaotic if the coach does not have a grip in what is his role there. And the role is not to engage negativity with the child, ever. The goal is to help to guide the child to a place that you wanted them to be, successful. So you're there to set the child to succeed. Not in jiu-jitsu, karate, whatever, to succeed, period. So whenever you put the child in line of success, you're going to succeed in everything that they will do. It's like emulating that feeling, what I try to do in my class. Remember that time we were in middle school, high school, and you had a teacher that you liked it so much that you loved learning and studying what the teacher was teaching? Mm-hmm. Everybody had that experience.
Yeah.
That's what I try to emulate in my classes. So I'm supportive. My language is firm, but with love. So I don't scream with kids. I don't talk with anger, but I'm firm. And I always tell them, look, I'm going to tell you one time. We need that to happen. And if it doesn't happen, that's fine. It's your choice. But there'll be a consequence for that. So that to me is more sustainable rather than keep telling the child what to do every time. And this is also a parenting tip that one of them that I talk about on the Black Belt Parenting Live. So this is how I handle that. Is like I address them, okay, I noticed that you're doing that. I'm not sure if you're interested. If you are, I would like you to have another attitude. If that happens again, there'll be a game at the end of the class. You're not going to participate. But I explain as well, it's very important to say, this is not a punishment. This is a consequence for the choice you make, and you can change that. So the child is learning, and they're smart enough to understand that. They'll test you, but as long as you're talking with, love and inclusion, they'll follow you, and the class becomes amazing. It's an amazing experience after a while.
Yeah, one of the things that I used to teach some kids classes. I don't have the patience that you do, but one of the things that I would try to do, or that I encourage our kids instructors to do, is also, instead of focusing on the kid that's being bad, encourage and give give congratulations and kind of positive reinforcement to the kids that are doing it right. Like, hey, Johnny, you're being quiet. Great job today. And so now the kid that's being bad notices these other guys getting the attention, and then they can start to follow some of those good cues that I'm giving those people praise for. And sometimes you can switch the script that way too, pushing the good behavior rather than talking about the bad behavior. Do you ever use those kind of techniques?
Absolutely. It is an option, I would say. I don't know which percentage would work better, but I believe in inclusion, meaning the bad kid, that's the one that needs help. Yes, he can emulate the example, but maybe he's not capable of. We don't know what's happening in his household. So I rather talk directly with him, including him, but address consequence. Or sometimes the kid doesn't talk. It's a way to call your attention and don't respond. You ask a question, he's moving his head yes or no. And that's going to be a power game, could be like testing you. And I would say, look, I'm interested in listening to your voice. I know you're smart, but if for some reason you can't, I want you to sit there a little bit and think, how are you going to talk to me? Because I'm interested. So even though I put him away, there is a sense of inclusion because I invited him to have a conversation with me, and the child sensed that. So the whole class has pretty much an emotional approach because that's the first language you're going to address. They're not intellectuals. Children, as their self-defense is all based in emotional state of mind. So the whole class is based on that, including actually the way I teach techniques is the same approach.
So, hey guys, so if we're live here, so if you have any questions, there's 30 of you on there. If you have some questions, drop them in the chat there, whether it's about jiu-jitsu, whether it's about kids programs, Master Della Hiva, whatever you want to talk about, we'll answer some questions also. So go ahead and drop any questions in the chat, and we'll get to those as we get to them. But right now we're just talking kind of positives and negatives and kind of strategies for those kids classes. So going back a little bit, you talked about kind of an interview process. That's kind of the strategy that we use at the Academy Kings for all of our programs. But I do feel like for kids, it's very, very important to have that interview process because, like you said, every parent is, there's always a goal that they're coming in for. Like they're not just trying things out randomly. Like they feel like martial arts can fix whatever that problem is that they're looking for. Like you said, whether it's confidence, whether
Absolutely.
It's being a bully or whatever. So how does that process work? And how have you found that works for you doing that?
Okay. That's a very long answer though. It is because I have to explain you the process of the interview and how I engage the parents to be part of the community, not customers. It's a different mindset. So first, you have to be, again, you cannot charge this little and deliver that. You cannot charge this much and deliver just this. Has to be always a win-win situation. You are in the center of the story as a leader, and you have to be totally confident of your self-worth, what you can do. So my price is that if they say no, that's not your problem. They have an issue now. They need help for sure. And there is a very deep need of what we do, as long as we are fair in what we believe we do to help the community, children or adults, then you can deliver. That's important, and that's essential work, in my opinion, explaining why. The parents arrive, I ask what's the reason, and usually they lie. They're never going to tell you the truth. They don't want to be, shamed. Mm-hmm. Our culture is basically based in shame in everything we do. You go to the gym a lot, oh, this guy's a meathead. The guy doesn't go to the gym, oh, he's a fat dude, whatever. There's always a shame. It doesn't matter the route you take.
Yeah.
So that, to me, one of the reasons that they don't want to expose themselves right away. They don't know me. So when I say, look, my program is based in 4 different long-term and short-term goals to help the child to become emotionally independent. Jiu-Jitsu is just a tool. And then the first goal is called body development. In that phase, I address body coordination and all the technical skills of the martial art, learning how to fall, learning how to get rid of grip, learning to choke, learn how to defend from a choke. Johnny is going to learn all those things. And that's a very short-term goal. Kids get that really easy. The second goal is a long-term shot. And to me, is the most important. It's called communication. In communication, I address active speaking and active listening. So active speaking, I would say, according to the FBI website, there's 60 to 65% of children that get involved in a bullying situation usually are for 2 reasons: peer pressure or low self-esteem. If you can teach a child a language that can communicate, a body language, I don't want to do that. And for the reason to do that is to help the child to feel confident, to avoid the conflict, not learning martial art to be in a conflict. Think about us, adults. Without confidence, we keep escalating the conflict in whatever situation we are, right? So for a child, it's really important to address that in the class and make the child confident, technique, do that, okay, like 5 to 7 years old, the language is different than 8 years old. You can say to 5 to 7, oh, no, that's wrong. You lost the child. Rather than say, oh, that can be done better. That was really good, but you can do it better. So that brings confidence in that age. After 7, the language is different. So anyways, inactive listening could be something like this. If you make barbecue on Sunday and scream from the backyard. You have 3 kids. Hey, lunch is ready. One is at the living room watching TV. The other one is playing video game in his room. The other one is reading a book. Everybody heard. Nobody responds. That's the dynamic of our households today, right? Why we tolerate that is not ideal. But the problem to me with that dynamic, you talk to a kid and he doesn't respond at home. Whenever that dynamic leaves the household and go to school, now it's jeopardizing learning because the child learned at school, at home. That's okay not to interact with someone who's talking to you, and he's going to learn to be selective. And learning, when at the classroom, you cannot be selective. You need to respond to someone who's explaining or talking to you, right? Mm-hmm. So we address that in the class, meaning like we ask, no matter the age, we ask questions to the child, and they cannot move their heads yes or no. They have to make a phrase according to their vocabulary to show their presence in their bodies. Because when they do that, they might be trying to dismiss an adult and go to play his video game. Okay, yeah, got it. But he's not responding anything. He's not there. Yeah. Especially today with all this exposure to technology. We really need to make sure we play games, a lot of games, and they're related to Jiu-Jitsu in the class for them to be able to be present in their bodies. So the phase number 3 for that, and that's a long-term goal. Phase number 3 is social development. We have several games in my justification for the parents of the games is I want the children to develop some emotions like being able to work with others, teamwork, empathy, tolerance, patience. Why does that mean? Like when you see a child uncomfortable, oh, everybody's running. He comes to the coach. Oh, he's doing that thing. And then you see the child is not comfortable in that community yet. And then you shake your leg and keep going or give it something else, another. And the child will really get involved until you feel the child comfortable in that community and others. You need to set an environment for the child to succeed, even playing a game or doing a technique. The last one is cognitive skills. It's a phase that takes a little longer. And I address their strategies and strategies and active learning during that cognitive skill phase. So what I tell the parents at the end is, look, this is not a summer or a seasonal sport. I cannot deliver all that in 3 months or 4. It's proven to be part of the child life routine. We need at least 10 months to a year. So then this is not to help your child academically, because he's going to be more focused, he's going to have better grades, he's going to be a better son, he's going to be a better neighbor, a better friend. And that's for sure, I can deliver that. But we need length of time to make that happen. So, and it is, when you see from that perspective, you're not having expense. This is an investment you're doing in your child's life.
Yeah.
When all this explanation, now this person is not only a customer anymore. If usually they join, you see that happening. You have to deliver that, right? And they have to be intentional, not just selling. And you see, it happens. People are ready for 1 year commitment right from the beginning. If you set the foundation, how the relationship should be, rather than, no, let's do jiu-jitsu here. I teach on bar and how to choke. It's going to be awesome. You're talking about jiu-jitsu, and that's not why they're there.
So you're setting the expectations for the parents that, like, hey, this isn't again, and we're not coddling to the parents. You're not saying like, hey, we have a 6-month program or a 2-month program, or you can sign up for 30 days or month to month, because when you have those kind of options, you're implying that they can learn something in 1 month and they can quit the next month and it's going to stick with them. But what you're doing is you're educating them on the system, the process, and then you're saying it takes this long. And that's why parents like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'll go ahead and get signed up for a year. If you don't have a system, if you don't have that process or even that explanation with that consultation as you sit down with the parents, then the parents are like, this is like soccer. I'm going to play for 6 weeks and I'm going to go away. So I think that's really smart. And then, like you said, being able to attach a price point to that serves value to you, because you've got a lot of experience, you've got a lot of investment in the business and in your own personal development. And then what that allows you to do is also invest back into the program to be able to fulfill and deliver on all these things that you're talking about.
Absolutely. And just to clarify more about the challenge that I learned with you, I bring that to the equation, and I don't offer them any refund at all. I say, if you want to do that, that helps you financially at the studio and the journey for your child, because you reduce at the end of 6 weeks what you have to pay weekly. But we don't do any refund, because I'm giving you material that costs money. I'm a small company. I cannot give it away. But the challenge is free after 6 weeks, because the money that you paid is going to be credited back to you. But this is just if you are really involved and interested in offering that to your child. Are you ready to embrace your child in the challenge? When you put that way, it's really easy to digest. You're not selling. You're just presenting the facts based on their needs.
Yeah, you're finding their problem or their issue, and you're giving them that solution that's like, hey, down the road, Johnny's going to be a good listener. He's going to have active listening skills. He's going to have active vocal skills and all like that. Yeah, so I like how you kind of tie all that together. I think that really helps, again, with the sales process, with the advertising process, and with the whole system of actually getting the kid to that level of success.
Yes.
So we had a couple questions here. Let's jump in. Everybody's loving it. They're saying good stuff. Hey guys, if you like this, go ahead, give us some thumbs up or some hearts on the Facebook Live here. Let us know you're digging it. A couple questions. So if child had autism, just wants to run around, how would you handle that? I know karate or jiu-jitsu is not for everybody, but try to help as many people as possible. Are there strategies to keep a kid with autism or some kind of deficiency active and moving around with the group instead of just on their own?
Right. So that's an answer for that. I try to remember here how that started. I think I have a kid a while back that by intuition I nailed it, but it started by curiosity. There was a mom that brought a child with mild autism to my class because she read one of my articles. I used to write some magazines here, some blogs about mental illness and other things, and how jiu-jitsu could report. First of all, I think it's a myth to believe that jiu-jitsu is not for everybody. I truly believe that is. It's a tool that fits every human being. Depends on the angle you're going to see it. If you're talking about an adult, how you eliminate the problem is something I learned with Rickson Gracie is at the end of the training, you don't have an opponent. You have a training partner. So just by framing that, now it's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
For the kids, it's the same thing. So the children class, you see all sorts of kids and say, well, they're autistic kids, kids with Asperger's, not going to do that, can't. So back to that mom. She had a child doing a very expensive therapy for autism. She read my article and she decided to, without telling me what's going on, I noticed something was wrong with the kid, but I just included him in the room. I didn't give him special attention at all. And luckily, that was the key that I learned how to master later, because he was included. He was not treated as a special. Mm-hmm. And everything the other kids were doing was modeling to him. And he really wanted to enable that, to being able to participate, being part of that. So he was hungry. But one of the things that, so she was alternating. One month, she would keep him in the therapy, then keep coming to the class, jiu-jitsu class, and 1 month she would not. I even have a testimony video that she made for me about that. It's on Instagram. And she explained that she was alternating. Some months, 1 month she would take the kid to therapy, and another month she wouldn't. And then she started seeing an improvement because she added jiu-jitsu to her son's life. And I didn't understand, so I started researching why that. And I realized that later, the therapist of the boy came to my class and sit on the ground and is talking to me for, I see what you're doing here. So there is a therapy in autism that's called floor time. When the coach comes to the child's level on the ground to interact with children. And that's exactly what jiu-jitsu does. So a lot of people don't know, but jiu-jitsu is a great tool for healing. And I did not know that autism could be mended. That kid, it's over. He became from a special needs kid in class, in school, to the top kid on his classroom. Believe it or not, this is in a video of the mom saying it. I didn't ask her to say it. So, and I found out that can be mended. I had no idea. I thought you just keep, treating. No, and that's why the reason I was going down to the ground like you do, and show technique, show not technique, that promotes inclusion and that connection. I mean, we all wired for connection different ways. We receive that in different ways. For those children, that's how it works. Asperger's the same way. Seem like they're wired. You got to give some space. And again, if you don't have patience, it's not going to work. You can't show any energy of anxiety with a child that has a deficiency. You got to just be patient and you see the result. I mean, it's not a lot of work. You just have to have some love and patience. It works. Right. Amazing how many people start talking about that in the community, how much exposure you get just by doing.
I think it broke up a little bit. Still there?
Are you there?
Yeah. Okay.
I can't hear you. I think don't know what happened.
Can you hear me?
I got a phone call and then,
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
No?
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. Let me see.
Go ahead, disconnect.
And the sound is good. Mic is good. Camera is good. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. I don't know. Let me try again.
Go. All right. While Joao's figuring this out.
No, Mikey is good back again. I don't know, Lance. It was doing good until that phone call.
Hang up and call back.
Turn off. Okay.
And then come back in. All right. You like those? That was like the hang up and the call back. I like that. All right. So some great stuff here, guys. So thanks for sticking around here. Give Joao just a minute. We'll get him right back on. So again, if you have more questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments. So Giles been with the Academy Kings now for over a year. Been doing really well, really growing his kids program through the system, and he's got some really great kind of curriculum and info that we're going to be helping him kind of get out here. So I'm glad you guys could be on, and let's see if he jumps back in here. Let me see if I can answer any of these kids' questions. I got a couple kids. So what are some good games to play? We do dodgeball. We do obstacle course. We'll do, kind of like zombie. We'll do sharks and minnows kind of idea. All right, Giles back. All right. You're muted now. Can you hear me?
I am. Can hear you now. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened. I got a phone call and then I'm on my phone. So
all right, no problem. I was just there. Somebody asked a question about what kind of games can you play? Any special games that you guys play different than, say, the normal stuff?
There are several specific games for jiu-jitsu that actually I made. I totally forgot about this. I made a video. It's called 101 Bjj Games. So that's some of the games I used to play in Brazil in adults class. Believe it or not, the Gracies play games in adults class.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I participate in many of them. I modified them for children. Other ones I created here. And there's several different things. I give an example. I have videos online about, like, you get a big ball, balance ball, have a child holding the ball in front of them, and another child in front of this child. The goal is to promote the child who's holding the ball to roll around, to promote mobility, understanding, awareness, while the other child is trying to catch their back and put the hooks. So that game lasts just 1 minute. You put a team of kids in front of the other team, so everybody's quiet, everybody's having fun, and they are learning a skill. At the end of the class, everybody has to, for 3 minutes, the role is try to catch the back of the other one. So that's promoted once a month. We play this game. Not every time, because then you run out of, it becomes boring. But that's one example, one of them. And I have others. I have several games too. So the games are always related, not to entertain them, even though they do, but the games have to be somehow, since you're investing that time and having them participate in that activity, to improve their ability to be mobile on the mats.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so the games are twofold or threefold. Like, one is like obviously a game like to celebrate the kids doing well during the class or whatever, but you're always trying to tie them back into jiu-jitsu or movement or the ability to kind of tie that back into jiu-jitsu to get that mobility of the functional movements of jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. So it becomes somehow, as you said, a reward as well for the ones that are following, And at the very end of the class, there's also another recognition. It's not necessarily a reward. The ones that want to participate in the games are the ones that are paying attention to the class and following directions. But in the very end, you choose one or two and you give the black belt of the day. The kids are actually looking forward to that. Oh. Like they're just looking at you, who's going to get the belt today,
Nice. I like that. The black belt of the day. I like that. All right. So I had another question here. Do you run, so the program for your kids, is it what they call rotating curriculum where it's kind of the same thing over and over every 6 weeks, it kind of restarts? Or is it strictly like these techniques for each belt? How's that curriculum kind of?
Well, the curriculum that I did, it has like almost 4 hours of footage. It's divided by belts. Each belt has 4 different levels of instructions. That could be the stripes, if you wanted to. That's the foundation, what should be there. And then the coach can create in that range. Meaning, let's see, attacks from the mount position. I show the basic ones for children. I start with guard attacks. So it's easy, really easy to teach that. Then passing the guard. So I teach just one way, but there are other ways to pass the guard for children. Then from there, they go for side control. Then I have maybe 4 different ones in each level, but that can be expanded according to the teacher knowledge. So I have the foundation of all the aspects in different levels. They go a little more advanced in each belt, totally doable according to the age. And then there's a lot of room for the coaches whenever they run. They're going to see, oh, I can do that here, I can do that there, I can add this. There is room for creation, for expansion.
And the curriculum is based on like the IBJJF belt system.
Yes,
same kind of colors and things like that. And you said it's kind of broken up into 4 parts for each color belt.
Yes, but it's also actually was founded on the belt curriculum at that time. Now they have three belts in one color. At the time that I did, there was yellow, white, gray, yellow, orange, and green. So since I did 4 levels in each belt, that.
Okay. Oh, you broke up again. Well, must have got another phone call. He'll be right back. All right. So I like this next one. Suggested rates for underserved areas. All right. Another phone call?
Sorry?
Another phone call?
Yeah, if I turn off here, I disconnect from you. Sorry that.
No problem.
Yeah.
So suggested rates for underserved areas, is it possible / sustainable to run it as a, I guess, as a nonprofit? Would you run it as a nonprofit, or would you just have a business and give back to the community that way?
Well, as I said in the beginning, I believe that is an essential part of essential work for the absolutely essential. Think about this. When you put your child in a middle school or elementary school, they don't teach you the child how to focus, right?
No.
So
just memorize.
Exactly. And that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching the child how to be coordinated, to be in their bodies, learning how to feel and identify emotion, which is really important for learning. And then also I'm teaching the child how to be focused. So that's essential. So I would not make any distinction about underserved community or financially challenged communities of any sort. And I would not know if I would do that for a nonprofit. I still believe for the value of it is being given, it has a price that should be recognized and paid.
One of the kind of talking about price a little bit. So I'm from the kind of the area of like, if you want to donate, if you want to be a nonprofit, like have a business first, make a bunch of money, and then donate the money that you make.
Absolutely.
I think that's a better way to do it. So I definitely would go with like, have a business, have a successful business, and then take the money that you want and donate it or give scholarships or whatever you want from that. Because I think a lot of times when people set up nonprofits, it's like they don't charge enough. They don't. There's no money for the owners and things like that. So like, I feel you're better to have a real business and then use give from that business. Free memberships if you want to do a scholarship, if you want to donate to local boys club, girls club, whatever, like do it through the profit of your company. I just feel like it's a better way to do it. And then kind of also talking about price points. One of the things that I run into a lot when we're talking to academy owners and stuff is like a lot of people charge less for their kids program than they do their adult program. And I always kind of say like, man, kids are like harder to deal with. Typically you need more instructors. If you have 15 or 20 kids, you need at least one helper and an instructor, where like an adult class, you just go out there, you teach the class. So what are your feelings? Like, should kids be a cheaper price? Should kids be more? Should they all kind of be the same? Like, where are you at on that?
Well, I'm with you on that. I learned for a while, that's a stigma in martial art business. When I arrived in the United States, I met a lot of karate, kung fu teachers, especially karate, that they had the vision or the background in religion, and most of the classes were taught with a Bible or Bible orientation. So they're pretty much a missionary mentality. So that is given to the community. And of course, they felt guilty charging more, and they always undervalued. They always felt, I mean, they never said that. They probably never thought about it. But what their projection to the community about themselves is they're undervalued. What they do doesn't have much value. And again, if you are afraid to take money from people, you cannot be a business person. This is not for you. And if people are different, that's okay. That's no judgment. If that's an issue, you need to fix that mentality first. Because in order for you to feel respected, valued, seen for what you do, you got to be proud of what you do and not like, I'm afraid, I'm going to assume here nobody has money in my neighborhood. Who are you to make that decision? There's so much abundance in the world, So that's the first place. You need to be in a place first. I'm a business person. I'm running a business, not a church. Period. Or I have trouble doing that. So that's not for you. That's also okay.
Yeah.
Now, I agree that the children program has to be more expensive than the adults, and that's what I do. My classes range from $59 to $69 per week. When there's a family, the 3 or more, it's $49 each. And I could use the $39. I just don't see the reason for it. Unless, like last week, a family with 5 kids signed up. And I went to the challenge. I collected $5.99 for each one of them. I wasn't pity about. First of all, I did not brought those kids to the planet. They're not my kids. I don't have to be penalized because that family, my business format, people could say, well, could you cope? Could you put yourself in their shoes? Well, if I want to, I don't necessarily am a people pleaser because I think that doesn't allow you to grow. You got to have some kind of sense of justice, of course, but it has to be fair for your business. Those kids will demand energy and time for you to take care of them and help them to succeed. So not because the family is bringing 5, yet I have 5 behaviors to handle. So anyways, I explained that to the parents. Each child should pay $5.99 in advance for the program. That would not be, don't give this example, just explain how the financial part and the creating the expectation beforehand is important. When you do that, that's or not, like, I'm going to give a discount because you have 5 kids, I'm going to do $29 each per week. So now you're not selling your product, you're selling discounts. And now your image in front of them is a completely different than one you could project better for you. So that's the difference between them seeing value in what you do in you and not seeing value in you. You are the one leading that choice. If you lose 5 children, so be it. They can't pay. There's not going to be a good customer anyways. Charging $29, what's going to be the difference? They're going to leave you in 3 or 4 months. So I'm there to create, since I explained the curriculum, in order to help your child, this cannot be seen as a seasonal program, like 3 months, summer program, or winter program, or fall. It doesn't work. For that to be really part of your life, your child life routine, we need to project here a period of 9 to 10 months. I usually sign up them for a year, but 9 to 10 months is true. Actually, it's proven.
Yeah.
And then now we're talking about money, value, and length, and now these people are not customers anymore. They are participating with you in your community. And that's important to bring their mindset to the table without fear. Yeah. If you're afraid to put a number on the table, you're going to be refused, it's because you're not confident in yourself. Yeah. How are they going to trust you? You're not making them see that in you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And, I think also what people don't realize when they start pricing things lower and giving huge discounts and things like that, a lot of people don't have a ton of space. So, you
Exactly.
put 5 kids in there and you just discounted them all down to, like you said, $29 instead of your $49 price point. Like you cut it in half. And then what happens is, I'll keep talking to you guys. What happens is you get capacity at your facility, but the problem is you're not making any money because you've discounted all your profit away. Let me add him back in.
Yeah, I'll be back and forth. This is going to happen again.
So what I was saying is, like, you get capacity and then you're not charging enough, so you're not making any profit. And then you're like, hey, so I need a bigger space. So now you go out, you get the expenses of a bigger space, you get more utility bills, you get more instruction, more classes. But you still are pricing things incorrectly. And then what happens again, you're not making any profit. So you've got to find your price points. Like, what we recommend is you need an average across the board of that $150 price point for all of your members. Figure out what your monthly revenue is, divide it by the number of students you have. And if that number is not $150 or more, you probably don't have very much profit. And that's one of the things that you want to start to do is get that price point up. When you're starting at $200 or say, $59 a week, $260, and you discount to $49, like, man, you gave them a good deal. They're getting $40 off a month, but you're still making, close to that $200 price point. So having that kind of set amount in your head, knowing how much money you want to spend or how much money you need to bring in to actually, again, it's a business. We have to be able to pay our bills. We have to be able to make profit. We have to be able to run advertising. And if we have that number in our head of like how much we need to make, again, like Weber Grills, they don't just sell it at whatever price the community they think that they can pay. Like it's $1,000 for the Weber Grill here, Coaltown in Pennsylvania, like, whatever place in Kentucky, Texas, wherever, it's all the same. Because Absolutely. That's the price that they need to make profit. So, again, it goes back to kind of that mindset of like, I'm valuable. My business is valuable. My knowledge is valuable. And I need to be paid accordingly to that value because I'm running a business, not a nonprofit, not a church, like you said.
I agree. And that's just reinforce that. I think, again, the best investment that you can make, it's not crypto or anything, it's knowledge. Learning how to teach a class, how to run your business, how to be a business person. When you don't have that, it feels a little bit lack of confidence, feels uncomfortable. And that justifies not charging a price that you think you deserve. Because you feel in that sense of emotional codependency, meaning I need to do a lot for others. And I don't necessarily have to think about myself. And you do, because if you give something to someone and they're benefiting from it, it's totally okay for you to be able to grow, have some confidence in your life and find a better gym, a bigger gym, to have more people benefiting from what you do. But more you invest in knowledge, more I would say I want to join you and learn a lot of things, which was investing in knowledge as well. More you find the closer tune, what you need to do, what you need to speak, and actually who you are in the community that you are in.
Yeah. And I think it's funny too, because a lot of the martial arts guys, especially jiu-jitsu guys, will be like when COVID happened and it was like, man, you can't learn jiu-jitsu online. Like, you can't go to YouTube and learn jiu-jitsu or martial arts. Like you got to have a coach, you got to have this, you got to have that. But yet they'll run their business without a coach, without a leader, without any kind of knowledge, and just think like, oh, I'll get by. It's kind of like that same mentality of like, it's really hard to just get by in jiu-jitsu without having a coach or without having someone, if you're telling you're doing something right or wrong. So I agree. I think I constantly am buying, really at this point, it's kind of masterminds, like expensive masterminds that I can be part of, that people are on the next level than where I am. And it's constantly that ladder effect, right? Like I'm always looking for like, where am I at in that ladder and who's above me and how can I tap into their knowledge? Because if I can tap into their knowledge, I'm going to get there faster. We can all probably figure it out, but like you either spend time and money and energy figuring it out, or you spend time and money and energy getting there really fast. And so like, I'm with you. I think having that knowledge and investing in yourself and in your business is super important.
Yes, to me, it was very important participating in this group, the Academy Kings. I helped open my mind in so many ways. I already had the sense of value about price, but I just did not know the map, how to put it together. And it was great help.
Good. Guys. So we got a couple more minutes here. Let's run through. We got a couple more questions. Have you ever had to fire a student? Meaning like, the child's behavior was just too much for the school to handle. And you had to ask them to leave, or hey, the group classes aren't for you, we need to do privates? Anything like that ever happen?
That's a very interesting question, actually. I love that question. You can do both. I have an issue before that a child was constantly trying to call my attention, and I have two assistants, one other guy, no, at that time, two blue belts, two women. But the boy did not try to call attention of the girls, and I thought, okay, this is a male thing. It must be something about his father. That's what I started imagining. And the kid was the first child I would have failed, because I always was able to modify behavior. But that kid, I thought, okay, you know what? There is always the first time. I'm not going to reach that with this kid. I think he's not ready. He's so disturbing. He seemed like he was living on a completely different planet than all of us. And then when I was called the parents to have a conversation, the parents lied to me. They said something else. It was clear that was not true. And I called them on a behavior that I saw in class, and they said, this is what you told me this, but it's not true. Look what's happening. So later, I don't know the sense of it. What happened was really bad. I found out the father was a sexual offender. And the father was arrested, and the kid actually, I know it's really bad. And the kid was taken out of the studio because the mom could not pay anymore. But he was on the brink. He was almost changing. He was get there. I thought about it. It's time to retire this kid. But I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. He is in a group. It's easy to manage having the other kids modeling. I'm just going to keep talking to him every now and then. Addressing consequences all the time is exhausting because he was having time out every class and a lot. But anyways, that was his process. If he had to sit out the whole class, that was it. But because I had expectation with the parents, look, I'm not going to be here trying to have your child doing everything right. We need to make sure he understands what to do first. And it has to come from him. So sometimes if that's not explained, it's really hard for parents to cope with you because they're paying for the class. Mm-hmm. And to have the kids, the child, the whole class sitting out, while I'm paying for that. But that's a lesson that the child needs to learn because probably at home, he's not having that example. So he needs to understand consequences. So this time out is a service that you are giving in a way for that child to experience consequences. But I never did that. I don't think I would. I would insist more. I think it's easier to go through the motions with a child in a group because it's going to be one or two. Everybody else is willing to work with you. Mm-hmm. Then having this child in a private class, that's going to be a mess. It's just you and the child, and maybe another child. Usually my private class is one child with another, and it's like they have to be at least 9 years old. I don't get anyone below that for the private. For the group class, start at 5. Okay. So I think it's easier unless the parents decide to take them out. But I'm not going to do it. I think sometimes more time is needed. That child is resisting to something. So let's keep working on it. That's a way to break it. Some of them are really strong-willed, and then it has all to do with parenting, nothing else. And most of the time, absence of it.
Okay, good. I love it. So we're kind of coming up on an hour now. Still got like about 30 people on the call. So I want to just kind of talk a little bit about the program. So obviously we have the Academy Kings program. If you want help with marketing, kind of coaching as far as your business goes, just put Kings in the comments and we'll get someone to reach out and talk to you about how the program works. We also have the free course. If you guys haven't seen that, just put free course in the comments and we'll get you the free course. So either one, Kings or free course, and we'll get you that info. But got Joao on the program here, so we want to talk a little bit about his kids' curriculum. So again, you kind of said it's broken down into belts. Do they have to be a jiu-jitsu person, or could a karate school that wants to implement a kids' jiu-jitsu program use this program, or how would that work?
Well, not necessarily, but you have to have some kind of base exposure to jiu-jitsu. Okay. You can train a white belt to teach children and have them teaching all that program. It's very well explained. It's really easy in the beginning. It has been worldwide successfully used by Kung Fu students, karate students in Europe, actually, schools, I'm sorry, teaching Jiu-Jitsu because they try not to, because they don't have a history in Jiu-Jitsu, but Jiu-Jitsu is the product right now. So they are offering that inside the studios, but they don't have a program. So my program became their program there. And once they see the explanation, it's really easy. It's for everyone. It's for any kind of instructor. And you can train a white belt that had some classes with you to teach Jiu-Jitsu to children.
Good. And so Jiu-Jitsu wise, obviously, if you're a Jiu-Jitsu school and you don't have a curriculum, like, and there's no affiliation or anything like that. Like if they're part of Gracie Baja or Alliance or whatever team, like they could use this curriculum if their team or program doesn't have a good kind of, white to blue belt or, green belt, I guess, for the kids curriculum, right? Like they could use this, instill this in their school, follow this system all the way through for the kids.
Oh, they absolutely can. I mean, that's going to bring a more organized sense in how to teach the class. And you can even, at this point, have the first meeting, have that whole exposure, what's going to be the program as well with the parents. So that is this way you can lock them up even more, because if they leave before the program is incomplete, without knowing what the program offers, what entails, when you leave in the middle, you had no idea what's about to happen later or next. So you're not necessarily, you're in the dark from the beginning. You were giving up the program based, lack of knowledge. But once you know your child's going to learn this week's going to be that, you can create the length of time how you want to expose the program your own way. You see the videos, they're very simple, easy to explain. There's some, I don't know, this DVD doesn't have games. I have another one that has these games too. But it's really simple. And I think it should be part of the conversation on the first interview, so parents know there's a curriculum. It changed completely how can I say, the way of seeing a martial arts school. I think you offer more power in a conversation when you are really knowledgeable about the product you're selling, including the curriculum, rather than, and then people go to another school. Oh, okay, I check you what you said. Let me go to that corner there because it's $20 less than you. They're not going to have that conversation.
No.
And then they will think about, okay, that guy charges more, but he seems more professional. If you're going to make that investment as a family. And also, I say that, you go around there, there's nothing written in the universe that you have to do jiu-jitsu in my studio. Go around and check what they offer, but you're not going to find anyone more professional than I am right here. So check it out if you don't agree with what I'm saying about my program right now. Check what's there. And then usually they come back.
Yeah. So anything else kind of in the course that you'd want to talk about? So we got a good discount for you. We're usually selling this for about $1,000, and we got about an 80% discount for the course. So basically all the belts, yellow. What is it? Yellow, orange, green.
Yeah, gray, white, gray.
Yeah, white,
yellow,
gray,
orange, and green.
I should know that.
Yes. And again, I want to say about the value. I almost had to a fight with Lance because I didn't want to drop my price that much. But then he made me understand the amount of people that could be reached. So we made that agreement on the price. But the value is there once you see it. Yeah. Yes.
But that's for us giving back, for you guys being in the group with us, kind of taking the time, listening to the call today and all that. So the price will go right back up. So this is kind of a really short kind of discount that we're giving out on that. I might even try to see if I can throw in some maybe like a sales script that can go with that. So like you said, if you are doing kids, how to do that consultative approach with that. But the link is in the comments. So if you want the course, go ahead and click the link. It's got some descriptions in there, got some videos to kind of watch also. But the whole course will be in there for all of the kids' belts, the whole curriculum. So if you run a jiu-jitsu program and you don't have a curriculum right now for kids, if you have any kind of martial arts school and we're thinking about adding a kids jiu-jitsu program, or even just wanted a kids curriculum for that, It's a really good way to do that. A lot of the associations that you're part of may not have a full curriculum for kids or adults. So this is a really good way to differentiate yourself from other people in the area that may not be using a curriculum. It's really beneficial for everyone to learn and teach off of a curriculum. You don't want to just, back in the day, jiu-jitsu, we just kind of went and we'd see who was in the class and we'd teach something fun and roll. But now it needs to be more professional. It needs to be more organized. And so you want to have that curriculum kind of moving forward to have success with your kids' program. So anything else, Al, on that?
I want to say one thing, Lance.
Yep.
As I just want to inform everybody how we got this price. It was based on one child per month. So if you cannot afford one child per month to buy this, it's not a tuition. It's just one-time price, and that's it. And if you don't have a jiu-jitsu school, you want to have a karate school or what?
Wow. We're doing his pitch. But no, he's right. So like I said, it's about 80% off. It's going to cost you one member only. So that one-time fee, not an ongoing fee, anything like that. You're going to have access to the course. So again, if you're interested, click the link. The link is in the comments below. It is academykings.com/BJJ Tech Kids Curriculum. But the link is in there. Oh, shoot. I blanked him out. He's going to be right back, and we'll kind of wrap this thing up in the next 30 seconds. So again, if you want more information about the Kings course, it's our blueprint, stage 1 all the way through, exactly what to do. Go ahead and put Kings in there, Kings course, and we'll talk to you about the program, and then Joao will finish up.
Yeah, sorry for this, everybody. It's just technical issues. So the price was designed as one child. So it should be $197 a tuition a month for what you're offering. Is really important. You're helping that family to take some burden out of their back, and you need to see that happening for you. You have to have this value coming to you in your mind for you to charge it. Also, if you don't have a jiu-jitsu school and you're thinking to have more revenue, you can teach that, and with that curriculum, anyone can teach it. Absolutely anyone. You just have to watch the videos and have this other product.
One last question: Do you charge for belt testing?
Well, I do. What I do is I have an in-house tournament every 3 months. So everybody has to pay a minimum between $45 to participate in the tournament. Children get one stripe for participation. The reason I'm doing that is two. One is financial, more value to the program. Second, I don't want to start a school of bullies. Kids are learning how to beat everybody, and then they go test on the school, whatever. So they know the goal is to train at the studio. So after 4 stripes, which is 4 tournaments a year, we have a ceremony for the belt change. That's how I do. So every time they have to enroll, there is a time frame to enroll. I kind of have different prices for whoever sign up the first week, the second week, the price keeps going up. So I usually have everybody sign up this first week, very few on the last weeks before the tournament, and that helps me to have a plan. How many medals I have to buy to organize the event, if I need to have help or not. So that's how.
No, and I like that. And we charge for belt testing also. We don't call belt testing. We do the same thing, kind of the ceremony approach. And what we do is, the kids, the kids are ready or not. But we have a big day where all the main instructors go there. We have a big event. Parents come in. We get a bunch of food. We do a big cake at the end of it, desserts, all that stuff. So it's a celebration more than it is like a test. But we make a big day out of it. And like I said, we bring in all the black belts and stuff like that. And we make an event out of it. Parents don't mind paying for that. Like, a lot of karate and stuff like that, they're getting charged like every 2 months. Typically in jiu-jitsu, it's like, maybe the first belt, if you're doing kids, if you're following the striping system, the first belt is about 6 months, but all the other belts are about a year. So an extra, 1 fee per year. No one complains. No one ever says anything. And you buy the belt, you pay for the the certificate, and then you have a party. You buy the pizza, you buy the cake, you buy all the stuff, and bring everybody in, the parents, the grandparents. They love it.
Cool.
All right. Anything else? I think that's it. So again, go to academykings.com. I got the banner right there, /BJJ TAC Kids TAC Curriculum. If you need the Kings information on help with marketing or coaching for your business, just put Kings in the comments and we'll get you there also. So Joao, thank you so much. Love having you part of the group, and can't wait to help with this kids curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And
all right. See you guys. See you next Wednesday, same time. We'll have another interview or training.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.